5, 6, 7, 8. It's a mess. Oh, it's a mess.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. It's a mess, sis. So, what exactly is a mess? A mess is a situation or a state of affairs that is confused or full of difficulties.
The mess is when things don't go the way you plan. It is when you have to go off script, improvise, ad-lib, sit through the awkwardness, and breathe through the pain until you come out on the other side, because you will come out on the other side. It is everything that makes life interesting and transformative. It is what we are here to do. It is how we learn how to be.
So, join us as we dive into this week's mess. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It's a Mess, Sis, my favorite podcast. I'm Jess, working through the mess, and I am so glad you came back to hang out with us again.
And hey, everyone. I'm your other host. My name is Rena, and I just want you all to know that it's 11:37 p.m., and I am wearing a bra for you all.
For you guys.
For you.
You should feel so honored and special. I know I do.
I am supported so that I can support you.
That's fucking hilarious. Okay, you guys are joining us for episode 73. Who do you love? Are you for sure that monogamy is for you? Okay, so that's who do you love, and are you sure that monogamy is for you? Now, before we dive into that episode, we have a little segment called What's the Mess? So I'm going to ask Rena, what is your mess?
Really want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay, so
we'll end on a different note.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
What if I just start to switch it up?
Go ahead. Switch it up.
I can't.
All right, I'm listening.
So my mess is that I almost killed my dog.
Whoa.
Almost sent that dude up to the upper room.
To the upper room. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What happened?
I'm gonna tell you this. Like,
I'm gonna tell you this. Okay, I'm listening.
So, my dog is an opportunist.
Okay.
You know,
I thought this was going.
And it's something I admire and I resent deeply about him. And so he had the opportunity to obtain a chicken bone. An opportunity that I halfway seized.
Wow.
And half of it remained with him. And he seized it because that's what he does. Right. And he downed it, and then he started choking and seizing. And then we had to go to the ER.
Oh, God.
And at first, the vet was like, I don't really see a chicken bone, so I don't know if there's more to the story that you want to tell me. And I'm like,
what?
I don't know what you're talking about. And they're like, it just seems like he's just really, really like anxious. And he's just like, it just seems like there was a lot of excitement. And I'm like, okay, run those x-rays.
Right.
Because I brought him here for a reason.
Exactly.
His tongue was purple. Like, come on. So when he ran the x-rays, he's like, there's some debris in his esophagus. So
piece of shit.
He's like, it looks like that chicken bone you were describing, just kind of lodged in there. And I was like,
wow, go figure. Wow.
So they were pretty much like, yep, there's nothing we can do for him.
That's crazy.
I was like, how did we get here? I was just fighting my dog over a chicken bone,
Yeah.
And, I don't know if there's something that happens in like the vet ER versus like regular just veterinarian practice, but they definitely were all about put your dog down.
Damn.
Like 4 paws down in the ground. Put your dog down.
We don't have time to give a fuck. You can put him down. That'll ease his pain. Wow.
So they're like, we're going to bring him in a room with some oxygen and because he needs it. And, you just ring that bell when you're ready. And I was like,
to kill him?
To kill him.
Oh my God.
They're like, you want a lock of his hair? I was like, for what? They're like, I don't know, like make a necklace or something. Like people do that. I'm like, okay, no, I don't want that.
Wow.
So they bring my dog in, and it's like he waits till everybody leaves the room, and then he starts getting up, like, get my shit, let's get out of here.
Right.
And he's like drowsy because he's sedated. He's like come on, like it was just a chicken bone. I can digest this at home. Let's go.
Right.
Long story short, his breathing, they said he was in respiratory distress and they just thought he wasn't going to come back from that.
Mhm.
But he had been choking for an hour before I got to the ER. Not because
That is the craziest sentence I've heard in a really long time. This nigga was choking for an hour. I think he's fine. He can breathe.
like he could breathe around it.
Wowzers.
But I mean, it's because there was just a lot. Like I had to, like, it took me 25 minutes to realize he was really, really choking. And then it took me 25 minutes to get to the vet. And then it took them some minutes to like, well, it didn't really take them much. It was, anyway, he was breathing when I got to the vet.
Yeah.
So anyway, respiratory distress. They're like, it's over for him. He's at risk for aspiration pneumonia. I'm like, but does he have it? They're like, no, but he's at risk. So you should kill him. And I was like, just because of a risk, you know,
that's crazy.
Like, let him get it first. And then, you know, I don't have to pay you. He'll just expire, you know?
Wow. Wowzers.
So I looked at him. He like laid his head in my hand. And I was like, just something don't seem right about this. He don't seem dead yet, you know?
He wasn't.
Seems really alive. It seems like he's breathing. He seems like he's like a little sweaty, a little vomity and everything.
Oh, weak. Seems like he's not dead yet. That's funny as fuck.
So I kind of hung around for like an hour or two, just like trying to figure out, do I want to pull the plug on somebody who's very much alive?
Right.
And, you know, I talked to the nurse. The nurse is like, you want to talk to the doctor again? And talk to the doctor. He's like, wow, this is like, he's breathing. He was like, this is like 10% of what he was doing in the back.
Wow.
And I was like, so he's like, yeah, like probably should just try to push that thing down in his stomach and, you know, see how he does. And that's what they did. And I brought him home and then he had another panic attack, essentially. Then I brought him back and then they were talking about x-rays, blood work, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, how about some antibiotics? How about some anti-anxiety meds? And like, all right, bet, but he's gonna die. And I was like, cool, that'll work. And he's been living ever since. I like he's been alive ever since.
Why I ain't gonna live to 15? He said, I ain't going no goddamn where. Run me that chicken bone, bitch.
When I tell everybody that they're gonna put my dog down. I was crying, I threw up, he threw up, we all threw up.
Oh no.
I was distraught.
Oh,
and then not only was my dog about to die, my car died.
Oh God.
Like I couldn't even unlock it. Like I was like, oh, is my key fob dead? So I went and got my spare. And they were like, no, not a light came on. Like I've never seen my car so dark.
Wow.
Like
not everything tried to die on you this weekend.
I was like, who's gonna die next? Me? Like they say things die in 3. Because it ain't die in 3.
God.
I'm like, well shit, should I just lay down? Lay down. This is a lot.
You have a podcast to do. Don't do that.
But long story short, I pulled through. I had a neighbor come through who just happened to know how to, you know, swap batteries.
Yeah.
And my dog, he took a shit today.
That's great.
You know, and emptied his stomach. The same thing they said would require $10,000 surgery. He did it on his own.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I'm broke, but
but your dog is alive.
My dog and my car, they're both living.
Praise
and my
you can
credit
make more money.
And I'm just financially dead. You know, yeah.
But you can come back from that. You have a better job, more money, you're good. You're okay. Wyatt is okay. Your car is okay. You're okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is a real we ain't had one of them in a real long time. That was a messy mess. That's crazy. That is crazy. Why? Why would you eat something that's gonna kill you?
Because it tastes good, I guess.
That's like America. Just killing ourselves with all this bullshit we eat. I
mean, yeah, because he did have a French fry launched in there somehow that they missed.
As well?
Yeah. Yeah, French fry in there too. I don't know how he got that. Didn't even know that was part of the equation.
No, that's funny. I'm glad Wyatt's okay though.
I'm glad he's okay too. And I did, you never know what you're gonna do until you're in a situation. Because I always said, if anything happens to him, if a popsicle stick won't fix it, then it's over.
Right.
And here I
Then your
am,
ass up there $2 million later.
just swiping. Just go
That's
ahead.
hilarious.
Just you know what? Just y'all got any more credit cards I can put on this? Like, just
save my dog. Right.
right. Like, why are y'all trying to kill my dog? Like, I'm trying to save him. Y'all trying to kill him.
That's crazy to me.
Like, he's just breathing really hard. I'm like, he has anxiety. They're like, yep.
It's probably an anxiety.
Should put him out of his misery, and they're like, nobody would blame you. We get
That's
it.
What they were saying.
I don't have $800 just to,
That's what they were saying.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, I get it. They're like, you don't want to be in a financial ruin. There's no wrong decision.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
And I get they don't want to make people feel bad, but I'm like, damn, like I know I ain't got it, but I got a little bit. Like, I can try. Like I can work something out. He has an enlarged esophagus. That's what all this is. GERD. This nigga's like esophagus don't do this no more.
What it don't do?
It don't do this no more.
Come on.
Like, I'm gonna kill this nigga because of indigestion. Like, there's nothing else that can be done. I had to go on Google and look up. Well, at first when I went on there, I was like, well, how long can you live with a mega esophagus? They were like 90 days. I was like, yo, y'all wildin'. But then when I looked a little deeper, they were like, oh, all he needs to do is sit up when he eats and make sure he has enough water. He can flush everything down and he'll be fine. Like, it's not necessarily curable, but it's manageable.
Yeah.
So,
wow, sis. That is a mess, child. I'm glad Wyatt is alive. I'm glad you alive. I'm glad your car alive. That's wild.
So I'm about to start a GoFundMe.
Okay.
Like arena.
Put it on. It's a mess. Come on. It's a mess. Y'all help her out.
Yeah, because I need help. Like, I'm like, yeah, I got pictures of him and everything, of what he went through.
Put it up there. I'll share it. I'll even donate $10.
Okay.
I got you. $10 for Wawa. Well, my mess is significantly different.
Okay. It's the opposite.
Well, my voice died. So there's something.
It's still there.
A little commonality.
Yes.
Well, no, just
it's a reach.
But it is a reach. I tried. My voice is on the brink of returning. We'll say that. 2 days ago was my birthday.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was so fucking dope, y'all. I had a Alice in Wonderland themed party, and it was supposed to be a picnic in the park, but very unlike California. It was raining or supposed to rain. And I'm like, what the fuck?
In Southern California
until the day of my fucking party. But it actually didn't rain, but it rained at night before, like a heavy rain. Heavy for California anyway. And I was like, I don't want the ground to be wet, whatever. Anyway, I had to pivot, but I was blessed. Fortunately, a friend of mine let me use her clubhouse. And so we just shifted and went inside. And so that was situated. And all in all, it was like a really lovely day. I just got to spend it with people that I really fuck with out here. I built like a community of people that I actually love, that I like, that I enjoy their presence. I enjoy their company. It's all a matter of artists and, people that I've worked with on different projects and things like that. And so, I don't know. I just feel blessed. I feel very lucky to have been able to experience that. I'm blessed to see another year, to learn some new shit. I feel like this is going to be an excellent year for me. It's like things are starting to shape into my idea of what life is like. When they say like you don't sleep as much because life is like, it's exciting. Like sometimes you go to sleep so you can escape. Sometimes that has been a thing, or you sleep so long because your dreams are like so beautiful. But my life is so beautiful that I'm so happy to be awake and to be experiencing it. And so I don't know. I'm just really looking forward to this year and I'm thankful. So that is my mess.
I love that. I love that you're celebrating life.
Yeah, of course.
In a way, in both of our messes, we're celebrating life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. We want to, bring it together. Yeah. And I'm just glad that, I'm just glad that you felt celebrated.
I did.
And you felt all the love that I'm sure you've given to many others. So Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so that was our segment called What's the Mess? We are now going to move on to telling you why we chose this topic. And if you'll remember, that is who do you love? Are you for sure that monogamy is for you?
There you go.
Are you sure that monogamy is for you? That's what we're going to dive into. But why did we choose this topic, Rita?
Twitter. It was like Twitter or Instagram, somewhere on social media. Somebody posted a thread about monogamy, and people were going back and forth on like, y'all just don't want to be in relationships and what that looks like. And it just went down. I just, it caused me to think.
Yeah.
And I was like, this has to be a topic. I want to talk about this. This is interesting. And in hindsight, I'm like, this should have been saved for Valentine's Day, but
we'll think it's something else. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. But I just feel like it's something that comes up, I feel like just in our conversations.
Absolutely.
So I just feel like it's a good time to really talk about it,
Yeah. Yeah. I agreed because I thought this was a very fun topic, and it's something I'm kind of like pondering about. And I have been for a really long time. And so I thought it was fitting to kind of like dive in and explore a little bit. So we have an agenda, and it would be wonderful if you would let the people know what that agenda is for this episode.
Okay. So our agenda this episode is the DIC, which stands for Define, Impact, and Cope. So this conversation is about defining monogamy, discussing the impact in our lives, and exploring our thoughts on the relationship model by asking ourselves questions.
Well, you trying to say all that in one snippet? Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Such as, how does monogamy serve me? How do we intend to incorporate this theme into our lives? Things like that. And then how we cope with it all. And one thing to note, we make each section clearly known so that you can follow along with us. So we'll say, okay, we're at the definition, we're at the impact, we're at the cope. This way it gives you time to pause where you see fit, have this conversation with others, have it with yourself, sit with it, jot things down, just do what feels right for you.
Yes, absolutely. So we are now to what?
No, I'm just, the definition.
Okay, right. Wonderful.
That's what we are.
Now we are actually to the definition. So monogamy, according to the interwebs, is a form of dyadic relationship in which an individual has only one partner during their lifetime. Alternatively, only one partner at a time, as compared to non-monogamy. The term is also applied to the social behavior of some animals, referring to the state of having only one mate at a time. Now, we kind of had some discussion earlier about monogamy or monotony, or how those two things could kind of go hand in hand. Right. So I also looked up the definition for that, and we'll dive more into it a little later, I think. But the definition of monotony is a lack of variety or interest, or tedious sameness. I say, God damn.
Because that is how I pretty much, I didn't really define monogamy like that, but that's
crazy, ain't it? So
I feel like that's the vibes that, society puts out about it.
Yeah, about monogamy. Okay. So for me, I think if you're trying to fit inside a monogamous box, because socially that is the norm, it may feel monotonous because that isn't your true feelings. I think, though, that for some, monogamy feels safe and sacred. And I think whether monogamy feels monotonous is going to be based on the truth you tell yourself. Ooh. And I also don't think it's static. I don't think it's one thing for life. I don't think you are always one thing. That's just period, honestly. But I feel like it can change, much like a lot of aspects of our life, So that is the definition that I have for monogamous and monotony and all of that jazz. So what about you?
Okay. So for me, I define monogamy, and just to say, like, I kind of botched this episode, but it's okay, because my whole thing was, is monogamy a form of monotony? That was the original vibe for this episode, and then I got the damn song stuck in my head and just completely changed everything last minute. So I am very thankful for that definition of monotony.
Yeah.
That I realized I spelled wrong.
It's hilarious.
But okay, my definition of monogamy:
Okay.
being with the same person in a romantic relationship. So that's what I summed it up as. But yours is definitely a lot more thorough.
Well,
Yeah,
I be getting a little help. So
just a
okay.
little.
Relax. Okay, so are we to the impact then?
Yeah, let's just get straight to it. Let's jump into it.
I'm about to dive in. Oh, I can't even hit the note. Anyway, okay, so now we are to the impact. So the reason I was talking about monogamy or non-monogamy not being static is because for me, the truth is I was content in my monogamous relationship for years because I felt fulfilled, right? And also we sort of play by our own set of rules. Like I was able to have crushes and be honest about them. And because of that, I didn't feel pressured into, for me, an unrealistic idea that once you're with a person you love, once you're with the person that you love, you will no longer be interested in anyone else. Or, you know what I'm saying, have any interest from like it just that doesn't feel real for me. I'm intrigued by a lot of shit, So I think that for me, monogamy works because it wasn't monotonous. It didn't feel like tedious sameness. That did it. Eventually, though, that gave way to this idea that I would like to explore and not shut down the energy that I do feel with people every now and again. So it's something I'm considering fully, trying to see if I'm making the decision out of fear of a long-term relationship or if this is my actual desires. And I'm leaning toward this is how I really feel. Simply put, I really find energy in so many people. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that I want to be sexual with them or romantic with them, but the idea of how you are to be monogamous sometimes doesn't sit well with me because it feels very restrictive. It feels very limited on who I am as a being. I may want to connect with you and be very touchy-feely with you. Maybe we, hold hands, maybe we cuddle, but we're not romantically involved. We never kiss, we never make out. But would I have a partner who I'm monogamous with? Would that feel inappropriate to them? You know what I'm saying? Oftentimes I'm not trying to be sexual with multiple people, but there are levels of intimacy that I have with people, varying degrees of intimacy, that if in a partnership where it feels very like possessed, like you are my possession and what we can only do these things with each other, that may feel outside of their comfort zone. But I feel for me that possibly being a part of the non-monogamous community will allow the freedom to explore myself and any other relationships that I am blessed to be a part of in the years coming. I don't know. It's still exploration, but this is kind of how I feel. I don't know if any of that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a lot that you just said. It's a lot, and it's a lot of questions. And I feel the same way. I feel like I have a lot of questions. I feel like I don't even have an impact. My impact is that I have questions.
That's hilarious.
Because I feel like I've been sold this idea of what monogamy is supposed to be, and I do feel like it's monotonous according to that definition that you read off earlier.
Yeah.
But hearing you talk about how you happened to be in a monogamous relationship and you felt okay because you felt like you still had freedom to explore and to kind of embrace that energy that you still felt from other people.
Yeah.
Then that led me to kind of question, okay, is monogamy monotonous, or is it just monotonous when you're not with the right person?
Oh.
That's just a question. I'm not saying, it's just
no. I mean, it's a good question though, because I think it can be. I'm just having a hard time with being possessed. And I feel like that's a lot of what monogamy is. It's like you can't do that. You can't do that because you're my person only. It's only me and you. And like, yes, it's me and you for the bulk of shit, but sometimes other people be interesting. And like it's not, and it sounds, and there's a shame behind you feeling the desire to explore with another person. And again, I say this because a lot of times it goes straight to sexual. But oftentimes I've been seeing a lot of poly content on my like in on
I
my
wonder
social
why.
media. I don't know.
The algorithm is like, you may not
The
know you
algorithm,
yet, but I know
which
you.
you is, bitch. But like I'll be seeing a lot of poly content, and that's
Just
what
like that
somebody was saying in
ADHD
there.
content.
Exactly. They telling me about myself. No, but it was saying, you know, a lot of times people do jump straight to sexual, especially if it's like two women with one man. And I saw this man talking about it, and he was like, they always want to go sexual. He's like, but no, like every one of us brings something to the table so that we are a collective community. Like what I don't have, she has. What she don't have, she have. What I don't have, you know, what she doesn't have, I have type shit. And it's like, I don't know. There's just something about being able to explore in that way that feels like more freedom than being very restricted. Like, because I don't know, people who I've been in long-term relationships, and I was very much into my person. Like people used to be sick of us. I was very into my person, but that did not stop me from feeling feelings. They happen. You're in a job and somebody's like dope as fuck, and you're like, oh shit, I really enjoy your presence. Like, let's go to a movie. It doesn't mean I want to fuck you necessarily, but it's just like I fuck with you and I like your energy. I like to be around that. But we shut down a lot of these experiences for the sake of I get it. I'm not saying I don't get it, but I think we shut down a lot of our life experiences for the sake of being, you know,
Well,
monogamous. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
go ahead.
say
I'm
this.
sorry.
This is what I'm gonna say. Like, I too, I've only been in monogamous relationships, so
Yeah.
I'm at this point of like wondering what that means, and I'm also at this point where, like, in the relationship that I'm in now, like, well, it's not monogamous, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's
Mm.
not. I have freedom to explore in a way that I didn't have in previous relationships, and I
Right.
welcome that
Yeah.
because just in my assessment just of this relationship and my relationships with others, I feel like in every relationship that I've had,
Yeah.
it's resulted in me learning more about myself and
Yeah.
about how the world works. And so I feel like being monogamous in that way that I'm used to being, where it's like you're only with this person, you can't even consider anyone else, you
Yeah.
can't even question that energy that you're feeling. I'm like, is that possibly preventing you from learning something about yourself or
Mm.
connecting with the world? Because I feel like that's how we see one another, is through the eyes
Yeah.
of other people. If
Yeah.
somebody didn't invent the mirror, I wouldn't know what I looked like.
Yeah.
Somebody would have to tell me. And I think it's that way spiritually. You don't know really who you are until you see how your actions and just how your presence is reflected in someone else.
Mm. That's real shit. I want to ask a question, but I want you to get to your impact. I don't want to
I mean, I'm
take
kind
over.
of in my impact. So kind of as a
Okay.
piggyback off of what you were saying, um, I do feel like when you're in a monogamous relationship, there's this pressure to be loyal to one
Mhm.
person.
Mhm.
And I feel like it only like it or there's this pressure to be loyal, period. And it seems like it benefits the person you're loyal to, but it doesn't necessarily benefit you. So
Okay.
it's like your partner is being loyal to you, so that benefits you. It gives you
Mhm.
that sense of security. You're loyal to your partner, that benefits them. But
Mhm.
there's just always felt like there was like some type of it's like a slippery slope.
Mhm.
Like I feel like you started to lose focus on yourself
Mhm.
because you're so focused on like their needs and staying committed, staying monogamous,
Mhm.
like throwing out like those feelings, like if you are intrigued by someone,
Mhm.
even if you're attracted to them sexually, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to act. But I feel like we've been told, probably through religion, that just having the thought is sin enough.
Yeah.
But they say that about everything. But that thought, that is something that you probably need to process to help you learn something about you. Maybe there's something in that person that could be also in your partner, but because
Yeah.
you never allowed yourself to really sit with that
Mhm.
comfortably, it just became this thing you xed out, and you were like, oh
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be counterproductive because that can make you crave it even more.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, I fell in somebody.
That fell in somebody. Yikes. Yikes, Rita. I think the thing is, there are some people that find their person and have no other desires. And I'm not speaking to those people because I think monogamy.
I'm not talking to you at all.
I'm saying that because I want whoever's listening to know that I'm not knocking monogamy, because I feel like it can be really beautiful. You both are just in your space. You love that, and you get the space. You get whatever you need from it. I think oftentimes though that monogamy is based in fear of losing someone.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, it's like if you going out and exploring with a person who gave you butterflies takes away from me, then I wasn't meant to be here no more. Right. We hold on to shit. This is how it feels for me. Sometimes we hold on to shit for the sake of having it, or for the sake of saying we have it, or whatever, all these ideas we have around it. But I feel like if you and I are in a relationship and we are good and we have our thing, but I'm not giving you. So for instance, I'm not really that into anime. I will, but if you want somebody that's really gonna go in with you, and maybe let's do video games better, because I can watch an anime while I'm doing something else. That's not gonna bother me. But let's say you really want a gamer girl to be playing games with you. That's not me. I don't enjoy video games. I just don't. I'm not gonna say that I won't try, but it's not gonna be what you're looking for. So let's say me and my person, we do other shit together. We are right around at nighttime motherfuckers with the music on blast and we talk for hours. Okay, bet. That's our thing. Then you find somebody and she's really into the games. She love that shit. And you like, yo, she just a vibe. And you go over there and you play video games. That's not taking from me unless it's like, no, you can't have that. And I don't know.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I feel like there's this pressure for you to be everything for one person. So it's like
not realistic and it's not fair.
You're monogamous, but you're also like one. You're everything. You're one.
Everything to them. And it's like that's not real for a lot of us. I'll just speak for myself. That's not real for me. There's so many people that I find intriguing for different reasons. You've touched my mind in the area that's different. You want to talk about some weirdo shit. You want to talk about some real intellectual shit. You want to talk about some off the wall fucking conspiracies, and I'm here for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. Sometimes it just feels like the fear aspect is what makes me not want to be a part of it. Like, oh, if you talk to them, you're gonna leave me. No, I have time to talk to both of y'all.
I think, you know what I think it is, when I think about like where this came from. We attach our sense of self to our ability to be in a monogamous relationship. We do. Like, we're told that we're somehow like worth more because we're able to do it. We're strong. We're more virtuous because we're able to do it. It means that we're normal because our relationship didn't end. If you have multiple partners, I feel like some people have this idea of like, what's wrong with you? Like, why haven't you just settled down? Why haven't you just found the one? There's something wrong with you that you can't just stay with one person forever. And I don't know, like, I have so many thoughts around this topic.
Like what?
Like so many. Like,
okay.
I don't even know where to start. Like,
the beginning.
I think I want to talk about, like, I'll talk about, like, what you were saying about that sense of security when you're in a relationship. Like, it's like you want to lock somebody down because, like, monogamy, it's like you're committed to me and only to me. Like, I don't have to worry about you. I don't have to worry about me being enough for you. Like, because we're locked in.
We're in this thing.
But that security doesn't even exist. Like, because if that person doesn't necessarily have to like leave you, but like,
they can quiet quit the relationship.
They could quiet quit the relationship, or they could just quit life, and then what happens, and I just wonder, like, is that like I think a lot about like romantic relationships versus friendships.
Okay.
Right. And I feel like in romantic relationships, for me, there's always felt like there was this pressure up until recently. There's like this pressure to kind of be like right for my partner and to do things right. And to like similar things and
Yeah.
to not like other things.
Mm-hmm.
And I have friends who are different from me, and I never
Right.
feel that pressure
Right.
with my friends.
Right.
And I have many friends, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't have friends who are like, you're my friend. You shouldn't be
You
friends with
can't be
anyone
friends.
else.
Right.
Right.
How dare you?
And I just think about how like that those friendships, those relationships where I feel like I can completely be by myself, independent of what they think, how
Yeah.
freeing that is, and how that allows a level of vulnerability and
Yeah.
honesty and truth, and allows me to see me. Like, if anything, like, I'll say something, and it may sound crazy to me, but I'll have a friend say, no, that sounds about normal. Or, yeah, girl,
Right.
that sounds crazy, but let's talk
Right.
about it. Like,
Right.
where's that
Right.
coming from? But
Yeah.
in a relationship, I know there's this other pressure. Like, what does that mean about me and my worth and my value? And am I going to be able to maintain this relationship? Should I even say this feeling
Mm-hmm.
I have,
Mm-hmm.
because it could disrupt the relationship? I don't, we
I
put
think the
so much on romantic relationships,
we do. We
and
do.
I'm still trying to figure out where this comes from. I want to like do the history of it. Like, I want to trace it back, because
That would
like,
be
who
really
said
interesting.
this?
I mean,
There's
well,
nothing
God,
wrong with it though.
God made Adam and Eve, and that's only
Oh
two. So
Lord.
I guess we got that rubric. I don't know. Everything starts with religion, right? But no, I do hear you because you're absolutely right. In friendships, you can make the most dramatic, world life-changing decision, and I'm gonna still be your friend.
Yeah.
Would I still be your partner? Maybe not. Maybe not. And I think, the reason why is because that also affects my life. Whereas in your friendships, it doesn't affect your life in that way. And this is why I was saying earlier about like everything not being you're my everything. And this is why I don't know that I will live with another partner. Because if you want to say, like, I don't want to live here no more, you can move to a new place. It doesn't affect me. My home is still what it is. I've decorated how I want to. It's a sense of peace that I want. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm
I
really,
think
being in a long-term relationship for so long, there were so many compromises that were small and stupid, and I get rid of them and it was fine.
it's
But
small.
my house, what I'm saying is, like, I just said okay because it wasn't a huge thing,
Mm-hmm.
or so I thought, right? My house was never decorated how I wanted. Never. Because there were two people who wanted things, and there was all this compromise, and we did our best, whatever, but it was never just to my full vision. I'm like a really bright, bubbly person, and I wanted colors everywhere. And she was like, that ain't really my vibe. I'm like, bet. It's not a huge deal because it's just colors in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want that. And it's your house too. And I just feel like we give so much of ourselves in these relationships because, like you said, we've been told or taught that it is um our worth. Like you said,
Yeah.
you've been in a 50-year relationship. Oh my God, what's your secret? Dealing with a bunch of bullshit. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like if I do have a partner that I'm with for 25 years and another partner that I'm with for 10 years, another partner that's coming in on its last little year, and everybody is still being fulfilled in a way that is like authentic to them. I just I can understand we've we have this scarcity mindset. I think that's what it is, honestly. There's a scarcity mindset that there's not enough of anything to go around: food, jobs, money, status, people, romance. And because of that, when I get something, I hold on to it and it's mine, and I don't want to share it because it might leave me. But shit's gonna leave you anyway. You know, one of the other of you are gonna die at one point. I
You know
mean,
what?
if you just get real with it, like it's like we're holding on so tight, it's hard to enjoy it. But anyway, go ahead. You were saying,
Because I think we're holding on to like a. I'm not gonna say that it's not supposed to be,
mm-hmm.
but like, if we really, the thought that just came to my head is that the main like the main monogamous relationship that you have is with yourself. Because at first I was thinking like it's that mono thing that pisses me off. That whole like we have to become one because mono means one, right?
Right.
And so even when you were talking about decorating and feeling like the home never looked the way you wanted it to look. And because I've been through that. And I'm like, it probably wasn't how she wanted it to look either.
I know, absolutely.
And I had this image of you just kind of cutting off limbs and pieces of yourself to meld together to like fit into one, this mono relationship where really that first primary relationship, I feel like it's with yourself. Like, I don't think you can have like the monogamous relationship in the way we've been told to have it with anyone else. It's like you can like be together. But I don't think you could ever become one.
And then we shouldn't.
And you shouldn't, because you're gonna have to give up a significant chunk of yourself.
Yeah, I think relationships that work really well, people are allowed to be their full selves, and their journeys just align. And when I see monogamous couples that are just doing it well, there's a lot of freedom there. There's a lot of like time and space for them to be their full selves. Yeah, we can be together all the time, but I'm allowed to be me fully. You're allowed to be you fully. And that's what's honestly in my monogamous relationship for a lot of years, it was like that. It was like that. It was like, I was just allowed to be myself. She was allowed to be herself. But there were some other things that were like the house shit was just like, okay, well, guess it'll never be quite, my full dreams type shit. So I don't know. I mean, I'm still exploring because I talk all this shit and then I might end up in a monogamous relationship. So who fucking knows?
I feel like we're always in a monogamous relationship, like
with ourselves.
Yeah, with ourselves. And when you were talking about people holding on and just being afraid to let go, and it just made me think, because you're afraid to be alone, that you've probably given up so much of yourself and you're afraid to sit with that. Yeah. Like your first primary relationship is with yourself. Always. Absolutely. So I think now, in thinking that way, I'm like, okay, maybe monogamy isn't that bad, because it really is. It's just me by myself. I don't want to be in like this when two become one Spice Girls relationship with another person. I don't want somebody that close to me. That did. No, because then I can't see you. And part of like,
wow, that's true.
And part of like the experience of being with someone is seeing who they are. Absolutely. In totality. Yeah. So it's not because when I say I need space, it's not because, I don't want you around. It's like I want to see you. I want you to have room to grow. I want room to grow. I want to see the path we're on. Like I want to and not like our path together.
Right.
Because none of us are really we're all like connected.
Of course.
But we're not. And I guess in a way that makes us one, but like we came down here on our own. And we're headed out on our own. And even if you're in a committed relationship, if I die, you are still, and you're still here, right? Unless we die together. Like, and even then, right? We're dying apart, like,
right? Your soul gonna leave different than my soul gonna leave.
Right? Like, you think when Jesus come back, he's gonna judge us together in the same body?
That's hilarious. That'd be horrible. Yikes! Like, no, that bitch did that. That was not me. I did not do this stuff.
That's not what your credit says. Okay. But like, I just wonder, because okay, like I said, like I like what you said a little bit earlier. You're not trying to downplay like monogamy. I don't think
be really beautiful.
I think it can. I think you have to try different relationship models to see what works for you.
Absolutely.
So there are people who tried monogamy and it was like it wasn't for them, or it wasn't for them with that person they were with. I just think you have to get out there and explore and see what works for you. Yeah. Now, the one thing I can say is if you kind of restrict yourself, like you may get lucky with luck of the draw. That first person really is it. I'm not saying it can't happen.
It can.
It can happen.
People be doing it. Yeah.
But in my experience, kind of having relationships, not even just romantic relationships, but platonic relationships, like me kind of interacting with different people, whether they stay in my life or not, has taught me has shown me what I want and what I respond well to, what supports me in these relationships. So therefore, I know how to see those people, or I can attract those people to me more easily. I in the relationship I was with before, I kind of closed myself off to everybody and everything. And it was all about the relationship. Like, I didn't really think about anything else. I didn't really think about my own pursuits outside of the relationship, like career wise. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm just with this person, like romantically. Like, this bled into my career.
Yeah.
Into like educational choices, clothing choices,
Yeah.
just my outlook, the type, just my whole entire life. I'm like, well, I'm gonna go for this job because that'll look good with this job. And like, and granted, I was very young.
Of course.
So that's another thing. So I think I was definitely going off of an idealized version of monogamy. I think, I think we have toxic monogamy. Like,
I do too.
And I don't think that's what it's really
absolutely
like for everybody. I think.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what we should have labeled as toxic monogamy.
That's hilarious because I think I think you really are hitting the nail on the head with that, because monogamy in the way that it is that two people have found each other and they are content and more than content in that relationship. They are enjoying each other's company, their presence, they are growing with each other, for each other, and it feels good. It doesn't feel restrictive. They don't feel restricted because they are enjoying the path that they are on. And I do think you really said something, because it's a lot of times we're trying to do monogamy shit with people that we're not compatible with.
And then you're trying to force yourself to stay in that situation just for the sake of upholding monogamy.
Yeah.
And it's like, when did monogamy become worth more than your happiness, your joy, your growth? Like, what is so great about I know monogamy can be great, but like, I just feel like there's something underneath. Like, there is some other undertone. Like, does monogamy make somebody money? Because I feel like the way and I say this because the way we treat monogamy.
Does monogamy make money? Bitch, you are dumb.
No, listen to me though.
She said, why y'all preaching this shit so tough?
Seriously, like, people, especially in the United States of America, they don't force shit down your throat unless it's gonna make somebody money.
Yeah. Well, let's think about it.
So
if you're polyamorous, you live in a house with 6 other people, let's say it's 6 adults. Do you know how much wealth we can accumulate? Do you know how powerful we can be? That's a small tribe. That's unity. That's 1 million kids, and you're raising them in the same doctrine that you subscribe to. That's a lot of many little cults. It's very hard to control, all these things. But you got 1 or 2 more kids, 2.5 kids. That's easy to kind of manipulate versus
slavery.
Let
me not say that. I know people love their kids. And
that's hilarious. I'm just saying, if we're thinking of it in that way, that could be why. But I also just think it's like we're very possessive, we're very individualistic. It's very like me or nobody. I should be your sun and moon and stars. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and I said, I think it's so unfair of people who get into a relationship with somebody who's ever been into a relationship before them, which is most people, and expect that all traces of the previous person is gone. I have no feelings for them, no thoughts about them, no happy memories that I wish that, not even wish that, but that I'm still fond of, that it should just be, you are completely removed from my life. And I'm like, how is that realistic? There's grief that comes into losing a partner. However long you've been together, even if it's 3 months, that person was somebody that you were spending time with. Everything okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That person is somebody who you were spending time with. You enjoyed them. Y'all had good memories. This is why you stayed for however long you did. So expect me to have zero interest, not even interest, because that sounds wrong, but to expect me to be completely cleared out of emotions or thoughts or feelings behind a person that was there before you is wild to me. It's wild to me. I'm not saying I'm still stuck on them. I'm not saying that I would want to be with them. I'm not saying that if they called, I would answer. I'm just saying to think that I left it all behind because you are the bee's knees. I actually listened to, what's the rapper's name? Toby.
Nwigwe.
Okay. Yeah.
You said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
You
tried.
did. Listen, I didn't want to, so that's why I said, okay, you right. Yeah, it sounds good. He had a song that said, I'm not gonna tell you that you are essentially, and I'm probably fucking up the words. I'm not gonna tell you that you the person that I have loved the most in the world, but you're the person I'm loving right now. And I choose you, and I'm excited for this love, or something like that. It was like, I'm not gonna tell you I've never experienced this love before.
Okay.
Because I
Yeah.
have experienced it before, but I'm
Mhm.
experiencing it with you, and I'm liking it, and I'm loving it. And I fucking love that shit because it's so unrealistic for you to think that I don't know if it's unrealistic, but I just feel like that's crazy for you to think that every single time when these girls be like, he'll never find another bitch like me. You really think you are the only bitch on the planet that's a fine bitch that got good pussy, that's giving him advice, that's gonna rub his head, that's gonna cuddle. I'm not saying you can't find a person that really just fulfills a lot of those things, but a lot of us have a good energy. A lot of us got good pussy, good dick, good this, good that, and you're finding people and you're enjoying them. You don't have to be the number one superstar for you to be great.
I think it's insecurity, and I think that's a trait of
Absolutely.
toxic monogamy. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people hide behind their insecurities by engaging in monogamy,
Mm.
and it makes them feel chosen. It makes them
Mm.
feel, validated,
Mm.
and that's really scary because if anything happens to your partner, then you don't know who you are anymore. And I think
Yeah.
that's why a lot of people like they feel so betrayed. Like there's people get so mad when relationships end, and it's because they literally feel like whoever they thought they were is going with that person.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay, toxic monogamy.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And
Yeah.
no, I think that's something you need to assess in
Mm.
yourself and assess in your future partners. It's like, what do you think of monogamy? Like what do you
Absolutely.
think of yourself when you're with me? What do you think of me
Right.
when I'm with you?
Yeah.
And like if we were to break up, how would you feel?
Right.
And if somebody's like, why are you talking about breaking up? You trying to break up with me? Break up with them because they're crazy.
That's hilarious. This is wow. What advice? Or you sit down and have a conversation. Maybe they're just triggered, just see. Rena said break up with him. Fuck that shit. Hell no.
That's a lot.
Okay.
And maybe that's
Are
my
we
trauma. Maybe that's my trauma
seem
right
like your
there. Because
trauma?
I feel like if I see something like that, you come
He
off
said red
combative
flag.
to me. If it's just waving at me, I'm like, you know what? I don't have to do this because, like I said, first and foremost, I'm in a relationship with myself, and
Yeah.
by embracing that, it's made things a lot easier in the relationship that I'm in.
Yeah.
Like I can come to you and step to you and say my truth,
Yeah.
and we can have a
'Cause you
conversation about it because I'm like, this is my truth. Like
Yeah.
I've accepted it. I'm okay with it with me. With
Yeah.
me,
Right.
I'm not depending on you to also
For
agree. So we can
validation.
agree
Yeah.
together. And
Or
so we
not.
can have a mono thought. So
Come
we
on,
can,
mono thought.
yeah, it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not cute anymore. I thought it was cute back. I didn't think it was cute. I just thought it was.
You thought it was what it needed to be. What it had to
Right.
be.
Because there's people villainize having multiple relationships, multiple partners,
Mm.
and it makes it seem like you lack commitment, you're wishy-washy and
Mm.
everything, or like you don't want to work hard. That's another thing that always kind of got me about monogamy. They're like, it's hard work. I'm like, what else is hard work?
What?
A job.
That's hilarious.
And I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know if I want a job. And I'm like, is that why some romantic relationships, like, is that why like a lot of people are like, I'd rather just be with my friends?
Kind
you
of.
know they're like, it's like you have a boyfriend, you have a girlfriend, but you're never around them because there's so much work that goes into it mentally
I
when
think
you're constantly trying to move in a way that keeps you intertwined with this person
yeah.
in an
Yeah.
unrealistic way.
Yeah. I think, and maybe I'll save this for later.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Have you ever felt like you had to choose between a relationship with yourself and a relationship with your spouse?
Yes.
Hey.
That was so easy. Of course. Of course. There were many moments, and especially after I said I do, because honestly, once I got married,
Oh,
yeah, once
we
I
haven't
got
even talked about that.
we
Like,
haven't even talked about that. Once I got married, there was this understanding with myself that I have made this vow before God. Like it wasn't really about the country to me, but
So
in
you
that
didn't feel like
moment,
you had a choice,
right, I felt
like to
like
choose yourself anymore.
in certain instances, there were certain instances that I'm just gonna be me because y'all know I'm me. There's some things that will never change. But for some things, it was killing me. But because I felt like my partner needed me more than I did, I chose her instead because a lot of it was considered
Oh,
for me, it's
there.
like
Ooh,
in sickness and in health. And I see that you're sick, but what's ailing you is also killing me, but only because of our relationship dynamic. Like now that I'm away from it, it's not affecting me. But when I'm in it, I'm dying as well. But I don't know how to choose me and choose you and still be in this. So I'm
that's
consistently
it.
choosing you to hopefully be better,
That's
and
wow.
just hoping and just praying, and me consistently not being taken care of by myself because I don't have the
Wow.
energy for both you and I, you know. And so I think honestly that's why I have such a hot take on monogamy, and I have such a fear of relationships, and such this is a lot of the trauma that I'm working through because it's like I don't know how to choose you and choose me in that
Why should you
situation.
have to? It seems like,
But
you
in a
know,
marriage, though, do I just say fuck you?
no.
Right.
But my thing is, people are their own responsibility, always. And it sounds like you're traumatized because monogamy in this situation has robbed you of yourself. And then you're
Yeah.
just gonna build resentment against your partner.
Mm, mm,
Part of like I know they don't, they say in sickness and in health so that you
mhm.
feel responsible and you feel like you got to do whatever you got to do to help this person. But what if what you think can help them isn't what they think can help
I
them?
mean,
And then you
clearly,
become a nag and then you become the villain.
absolutely.
So sometimes you
Am
just got
I
to
the
take a
villain?
step back, but they make it seem like, oh, you're selfish because you step back,
Yeah.
or you're selfish because it. And it's like, do you feel selfish, or are you fearing what all these other people could possibly think?
It's not even about anyone else, honestly. It's about me.
You feel
It's
selfish in that moment when you're like, look,
yes,
this is
because
your responsibility. But if the
yes,
shoe were on
because
the other foot, would you
I would
expect her to
want some
give up
fucking help.
herself? You would
Give
want
up
her to give up
herself,
herself for you?
not give up herself,
So then why
but
would
I
you do
do.
that?
I don't know. Listen,
See,
let me just say,
okay.
I do
Nah,
have
just
expectations of being cared for, right? And I think what happened again, like you said, going into the relationship very young, you have an idealized view of what a healthy relationship is, what marriage is going to look like, all those kind of things. And so you go into it hoping that someone would care for you in that way. And so for me, I love to be cared for, right? And so it translated into my mind that I give what I would want. You know what I mean? And I've been a caregiver for my whole life. I took care of my mom through a lot of her ailment, and a lot of that was sacrifice on my part. There was a lot of times that I did not sleep so that I can make sure that my mom was okay. And so that was kind of what I feel like care looks like, you know?
so if your partner were to take some of that care that they were going to give to you and put it back on themselves so that they're even stronger and more mentally sound,
Uh-huh.
do you feel like you would be cared for?
Of course. I don't think I would never want my partner to lose anything because of me. So no, you're right. I would not ask my partner to give of themselves to their detriment.
Okay.
I would not
I
ask
feel
them
like
that.
you can't care for anyone as much beyond the capacity that you have to care for yourself.
I agree.
So, like, if somebody isn't doing a good job at caring for themselves, they ain't got it for you. They ain't got it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hard part. And I think, if you're a people pleaser. I think I grew up kind of priding myself on being like needed or being liked or being wanted. And when you do that or want it in that way, want it because of what I could do for somebody, I think you go a long time without your needs getting met and you're hoping, I know I did this. I hope that if I just poured into my partner, then that one time when I needed it, they would be able to pour back into me. And then in the way that I needed it. And when that time came, that was a shock.
That it didn't happen.
And I'm not saying that they didn't try.
Yeah.
But like they couldn't give it back to me the way it's like I loaned out something that I really didn't have to loan.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. So now I've learned from that. I'm like, I'm not giving.
Fuck, you ain't giving you shit.
But no, but like I'm not gonna give you something that I can't do without.
That's real shit. That's real shit.
You know,
I'm definitely at a different place now. Yeah, I'm
glad to hear that because that scared me.
No, I'm just saying who I was. I'm just being honest. Like I definitely had some moments where it's like this, I am losing my mind trying to spin myself in a circle to make sure that you are good, but you aren't well. And I am not a healer. I can't. But I was trying. I tried my fucking hardest. But I think we are to the cope. Are we to the cope? How do we cope with all this?
Or do you have more questions? Choice. No, I mean I have tons of questions. I always have questions.
That's hilarious. Is there one you want to ask before we get to the cope?
No, I think we've pretty much kind of gone over everything. Like
okay.
Yeah, because other than that, it's just going to turn into a whole dive into conspiracy theory about how monogamy funds America. Like, I'm still trying to figure out.
We'll have to do a different episode for conspiracy theories.
It keeps you preoccupied and away from wealth. Funny. It separates you because it's like, it's
so
like you're united, but not united enough to actually fight. Like, you're united, but divided. Like, if you two unite, but y'all can't unite. Like, I'd rather just have 2 and not 4 or 8,
It's fucking hilarious. Come on, multiples? That's funny as fuck.
Because think about it. Like, they go at length. They're like, I've never seen the states so, like, in agreement on something. Like, polygamy. They're like, yeah, all 50 states can't do it.
Right.
I'm like, really?
Really? Nowhere.
So we can't. You got prostitution legal. Not even
we can't love each other.
Right. In mass.
A mass loving.
We can't just have like a big mega mansion, like a 16-bedroom mansion. Call it the dormitory.
It's like, when do I get my day of fucking? The fucking.
Oh my God, the fucking. You know what? It's honestly not even about that because marriage, if you really think about it, started off as it was a business agreement. It's just a way to transfer wealth. It still is. So I'm like, y'all selling us this monogamy bullshit when people ain't really getting married to stay monogamous. Right. Like, they're getting married for wealth. You do your time, you get out.
Come on, you do your time? Hell no. Wow, we'll see how you feel.
You know what? I will leave it up to people to choose what they do with monogamy and marriage,
Obviously, you swear you could have a choice on what they was gonna do. She said, "I'm gonna leave it up to them."
Like, I'm not gonna judge. If you go into it for the money, you go into it for the money. If you go into it for love, you go into it for love. And I think there's drawbacks of both and advantages of both.
I want to talk about arranged marriage on another episode.
Oh, I don't know. I do not know a lot about it, but let me ask you this real quick before we get to the cope. Would you do it? Would you have somebody arrange a marriage for you? Would you partake?
I am a very complex human being.
Lord, that is not a good way to start
and an so answer like this. I think the answer is no, because I didn't even make a good choice for myself. How the fuck you gonna make a good choice? Well,
maybe somebody else would make a better choice for you.
You think? I don't know.
Go and Married at First Sight.
Married at First Sight? No.
Yeah, absolutely not. You would kill on that show. I would watch every episode. You would be one of the favorite couples. Like, because I just feel like you would be in the camera always like, this person, because I don't know if it's gonna be a nigga or a nigga. Exactly. I don't know which one it's gonna be.
Come on, nigga. I feel like they would give me some white country boy.
He's definitely gonna be Asian.
Oh,
and you're gonna be like, Asian.
as long as he's handsome. But he probably gonna look like somebody. No.
What you about?
Something
Don't do
ignorant.
it. Yo.
I forgot we was recording for a second. I was about to say my real
No,
thought.
that's what I'm trying to. That is secretly what I'm trying to do, everybody. I'm like, y'all feel like she's so fucking nice, and I'm the one who's crazy. I'm the one who's depressed. She's been gaslighting you. She is nothing nice. Don't let these pigtails, this Pippi Longstocking facade fool y'all. Listen to her words.
Listen to my words. No, I think Married at First Sight would probably put me with somebody. If they were Black, I would probably be happy. And it would be a real fun experience because I'm attracted to most Black people. I am. It's true. You know, I be finding Christians. If you put all my Christians together that I told you, don't know them niggas look alike. Except for they all Black.
I just feel like it'll be like a Caribbean man. And I think you'd
be fighting for power. Because that's what the fuck it sound like.
But I tell you, popcorn ready to watch this. Please do it. I'm a nominate you. Can I nominate somebody? Can I just marry you off? Fun. No, I mean, you can go just for fun. What did I just say? You could choose how you want to go about getting married. Actually legally married, Rena. I'm not doing it. You can get a no, just don't have sex. Oh, that's going to be
now you know. Because
they're going to find somebody that you're physically attracted to, and then you're going to realize they not wound too tight. Right. And
I don't know. I've been watching the Indian matchmaking shows, and I was like, I wonder who they would actually think I'm compatible with.
I do match you with somebody broke.
I'm okay.
Oh, you're perfect. Because I'd be pissed.
Would you?
Yeah.
What do we mean? Like perpetually broke? Like they don't want to be rich, or they just right now they don't have money?
Oh, that's a good question. That's actually
because I don't have an issue with somebody who's like working, trying to get their shit together. Like I'm not rich. I'm working to try to get my shit together. But if you are like, I don't give a fuck, and
like one of those, like live off the land type.
Oh, I don't mind that. If you are like fuck everything, I'm just like lazy and I don't want to do anything. I can't do that.
So disabled.
If you are, no, that's not. I don't want to do anything. I can't do anything. That's different. If you're disabled, that is different, and you get a check, so you're not broke.
Feeling my line.
No, okay, no, I'm saying, but if you're one of those people that just like perpetually like, oh fuck that job, I don't care. You just don't care. You scraping 2 pennies together to buy weed, but you don't got no food or some shit like that.
Very specific person in mind.
I don't. It's just people be really their priority. If your priorities are like, it's like you're broke because you haven't prioritized or you're like very careless with how you think about things. I can't fuck with that. But if you're broke because life is
you're building,
the fuck it is, you're building, or you just like, literally all my money goes to all my bills, and now we can go to the park for a date, bet. Or if you like, I really just want to live off the land, bet. Like something like that, I can fuck with. I don't give a fuck. But if you broke because you just like, no, I spent my last $200 on these Jordans. Okay,
hey.
You can. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it, Rena. No. I know that's your bag, but absolutely not. You spent that on Jordans, and now we can't eat for 2 weeks.
Damn,
no,
not 2 weeks.
No,
you said you wanted to try fasting, intermittent fasting. We just fasted for 2 weeks.
No, I can't do broke because you are. If you broke because you are in what am I trying to say? You are.
I don't know what you're trying to say. I don't know at all.
Irresponsible. If you're broke because you're irresponsible, I can't deal with that.
Okay,
if you're broke because your job don't pay enough, you work it as much as you can. I can deal with that. Shit is real out here. If you're irresponsible,
go ahead on Indian Matchmaker and see what happened.
I doubt that they can find me somebody. They be like, maybe.
You'd be surprised.
That's true. But I just feel like they be wanting to get married and have babies and shit. It's like, whoa. It's 1 billion people in India. You know what I'm saying? They be fucking for babies.
You said they be fucking for babies. Wow.
I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I'm not doing that. No, that could be fun though. That'd be interesting. I wonder who they would match me with. Like literally, if I come and be myself, I wonder what somebody else. You know me, Rena. Who do you think I would be matched well with?
I have
like personality. We're not even talking about looks because I can find you attractive.
I have no idea. I think you would be a very interesting, like, mix. Honestly, they probably match you with like a gay man.
Ooh.
Probably a man who doesn't even know he's gay.
That'd be perfect.
And then you would help him come to that realization. Yeah. And then you guys would be like best friends, and it'd be like a whole Terry McMillan Oprah special.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, I think,
As long as I can
I'm
peg
rooting
him.
for that. Oh,
Too much?
I mean, that is definitely, should I tell them to go
DM
ahead
me.
and,
Slide in my
yeah,
DMs. I
slide
just
into
saw this post that
it's a
said,
messes.
never mind, this is
She
way
was,
off topic.
uh-huh.
Anyway,
See,
how
she's
do
showing
we
her true
cope?
colors. No, this is how we cope with the truth of who you are, your true nature.
Y'all tell me in the comments who y'all think I could match with. Who've been listening for the time that we've been doing this. Tell me who you think, the type of person you think I would match with. I would love to hear that. That would be excellent. Just that's it.
Honestly,
Anyway,
it's either gonna be it's gonna be an extreme.
like
It's either
what?
gonna it's either gonna be somebody. It's probably gonna be somebody who's like super chill and super reserved that people wouldn't even think you would be with.
Mhm.
Somebody who would be okay with like stepping back and allowing the spotlight to be on you and not feel threatened by that. And somebody who is just kind of like they're willing to explore, but they don't feel the need to like broadcast that to everybody. Just somebody who's like more reserved, but still open minded. Because I think when people are reserved, people assume that they're closed minded.
Mhm.
But I definitely think, like, I don't see you competing for attention. Like, I don't see that. I don't
I
see
mean,
that
there's no
working out.
competition, so you're right.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think
I
it's
mean,
more.
I don't mind a person that also likes the spotlight because I don't mind sharing the spotlight. That's not something that I mind. But if you want me to diminish myself for your spotlight, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be somebody like they may shine on their own, but I don't think not gonna be seeking it. Like, I just think it's gonna be somebody who's like really, they have to be really sure in themselves. I'll tell you that.
That's exactly what I think. I think I need a very confident human being to be with.
Very,
Yeah. They need to be
extremely
very
so.
confident. And I do think it's gonna be somebody that's low-key reserved. Like a little bit. I don't know.
But
We'll
sane.
see.
Let them be sane. Let them not be reserved because they're like quieting down crazy.
Yeah.
But like let them be reserved because they're just observant.
Yeah.
Not because they need to be observed.
That's fucking hilarious.
But-
Dear Lord, in the name of Jesus, we pray. That's funny. That's funny. I mean, it would be really
I know.
interesting. I don't think I think if I got with somebody that was like really like me, very like boisterous, whatever, it could be really like fun and interesting.
Y'all be fighting in the parking lot.
I don't think so.
Just
I don't think
scrapping.
so. I think as long as because I'm a very confident human. If my person's getting like a shine for doing that shit and they're like dope is what they do, I'm number one fan type shit. So I don't know. It would just, I guess it just depends. We'll see.
Yeah, when you go on Married at First Sight.
Yeah, guess so.
Just go ahead and apply.
Go to sign me up.
It'll be great publicity.
That's
They would
hilarious.
love you. They would. Or hate you. But
or hate me.
there's love in there. It's a thin line. They'll feel strongly for you.
One way or the other, huh?
Or the-
Definitely not going on reality TV. That's a definite
I could see you doing that.
Going on reality TV?
Mhm.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
I
not.
feel like you could do it.
I could. You're right. I could do whatever
I feel
I
like you
want
would
to.
kill it.
And my mind says, hell no.
You already look like you're on reality TV right now.
Do I? Like I'm in my confessional?
Yeah.
I just think that Rena be trying to put me on the motherfucking spot. And so my confession is basically Rena need to mind hers. And I'm gonna mind mine.
I'm just trying to support and help you out.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Some drama on fucking Married at First Sight.
You get to have a wedding free of charge.
I don't want a fucking wedding. I don't even want to be in a relationship and you're trying to get me fucking married. What are you talking about? You are so absurd. You're ridiculous. Anyway, we have ventured way the fuck off the topic, much like we do, but now we are back to the cope. And I just want to say that I am coping by trying to be as honest with myself as possible. I'm trying to stay away from relationships and the like until I have a firm grasp on what it is that I actually want. If I should choose monogamy again, it will be because I can see something I truly desire and not because it is the status quo. I'm holding on to the understanding that I have a say so over how I live this life and whatever I choose is right for me. So that is how I'm coping.
For me going forward, the way I choose to cope is by, always questioning and exploring because I believe that doing so leads to growth and self-mastery, which is something I'm very intrigued by, very interested in. And that exploring and that questioning includes my relationships and how I show up in them and how I sit in them.
Yeah.
So that's how I cope. Like it's exploratory. I'm trying not to be so fixed. I've come from a place of being very fixed about relationships.
Mhm.
And I'm realizing as I allow it to breathe, allow some air through, that it becomes a more pleasurable experience instead of being like stagnant or stifling and all those other words synonymous with suffocation.
I'm fucking weak. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, just want to breathe.
I hear you. Well, I think the recap is mainly that monogamy can be beautiful if it is done out of desire and not out of fear.
Or for financial reasons.
Or for financial reasons.
Just,
I guess. But I do think that I think that monogamy done with the right attitude and with the right person can be such a tremendous experience. And I think there is something to be said about that experience. I think, however, we have to give room for the opportunity to not be monogamous and that to not feel like a downgrade or a risky choice, for it to be something that is just, this is how I want to be, this is who I am, and being safe and comfortable in that choice as well. So I think that's really the recap. I mean, we said a lot, but essentially, monogamy should be chosen because it is actually what you want and not because what is expected. It's my feelings on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That right there.
Yeah.
You choose not monotony.
Oh dear. We choose monogamy. We ain't changed Rena's mind. She still think it's monotonous. But no,
I agree with that. I think monogamy, I think it could be right for you for the long term or at different points in your life. Like,
agree.
Yeah, just do what feels right for you.
Agreed. Do we have any shout outs this episode?
I do not.
Okay, I want to shout out to the different people that I have met in these last few years who've kind of opened my eyes to non-monogamous relationships, polyamory, and the like, being very open in their relationships, being very open in their guidance and their education. It's really kind of helped me to step into an understanding that maybe monogamy is not something that I have a desire for. I'm still not to a place where I can say fixed and for sure, but it has opened the door to exploration. And for those professionals and people who are in those relationships who've been willing to share, I am very grateful, and shout out to you. And also shout out to anybody who is maintaining monogamous or non-monogamous relationships with love and with honesty and with joy. So now we are to my favorite part, which, if you are new here, is the meditation. We take a couple deep breaths, we set an intention, we take another couple breaths, and then I let you go about your day. So what I would like you to do for me is to take a big deep breath. Take a second deep breath. We'll take one more deep breath. And now we will set our intentions. I intend to continue to explore the fullness of how I feel. If it feels right for me, then I will choose it, whether that be monogamy, polyamory, non-monogamy, all of those things I am free to choose and enjoy and explore only if I so choose.
All right. It is my intention to choose the light feelings, the airy feelings, the breathy feelings, to choose what makes me feel the most free.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, we'll take our last set of breaths. Take another big deep breath with me. We'll take a second deep breath. And we'll take our last deep breath. All right, your intentions have been set. Go out there and flourish, sis. Today doesn't have to be a mess.
But it's okay if it is.
So Liz, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in again. We appreciate your continued support. We are so thankful that you continue to listen and to vibe with us and to listen and what am I trying to say? what's the word? Engage with us on the internet. We appreciate it. If you would like to have a topic discussed, please email us at itsamesssis@gmail.com. That same email can be used if you would like to be a guest on the podcast. If you have any comments, if you have any business dealings you would like to talk to us about, that is itsamesssis@gmail.com. If you are more of an internet user and you would like to just use the social media aspect, we can be found on Facebook at It's a Mess Sis Podcast, on Instagram at It's a Mess Sis Podcast, at Twitter at It's a Mess Sis, and YouTube It's a Mess Sis. Search for us. We're in there. And I think that's it. Do we have anything that we need to let the people know, Rena?
Nope, I just appreciate you all as always.
Yes, thank you so much. Well, we're going to catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.
It's a mess.
Hey, that's what I
It's a
can't
mess.
sing.
It's okay. He's gonna talk over my singing though. Okay, it's ready now.